I'm Joanna Garzilli, award-winning author and life coach. Welcome to the Looking Glass podcast. Part of reflecting is reviewing. And this morning, I was thinking about the first 30 days of this journey of us reflecting together. And what I became aware of, and I want to know, what for you, what's happened in your first 30 days? For me, I am aware that I deconstructed my unevolved ego to release falsely constructed internal thoughts and processes. And I've been aware of my unevolved ego for quite some time. But when I wrote Big Miracles, the 11 Spiritual Rules for Ultimate Success, and I talked about that concept, I feel as if it was more intellectual as I was sharing about what the unevolved ego is, that I didn't have the full understanding that I have now of when my unevolved ego gets in the driver's seat. It's as if in the past, when my unevolved ego would come up and it would take over, the wise part of me, my higher self, would black out. I go unconscious. And that's when damage would happen or I would experience pain. And then I'd come out of it, but there was a total disconnect. And now, when my unevolved ego gets in the driver's seat, I allow myself to feel the full intensity of the pain, which sometimes feels as if I'm going crazy when I've allowed it to, really when I've allowed myself to have that full experience. It's as if I've gone right to the edge and I've said, okay, I'm gonna face you, ghosts, demons, beasts, evil spirits. I mean, I know it sounds, as I'm saying it now, it sounds so silly, but that's what it's like for me. I feel also from doing Muay Thai and stepping into that by accident, really, because my son wanted to do it, and that has given me more of a fighting spirit to be able to slay my demons. Not and maybe it's not even about slaying them. It's just be able to face that demon with the red eyes that is trying to intimidate me and make me feel like a shameful piece of crap. And I can just look it in the eye and say, I can punch you. I can take you down. Just for my look, that it scurries away. It knows not to mess with me. I don't need to punch. Just my energy, my field, because of my elevated consciousness and the field of consciousness that I am in, means that it knows not to fight me, not to go there, to find a different opponent. So, getting really fired up here. This idea, as we reflect together, I invite you to think about if there are any internal thought processes, and we talked about this, a couple of episodes ago when we connected, about how these cycles of thought occur, going from one mood to another, say from shame to anger to arrogance to humility to grace, becoming aware that there are these, it's almost like a song that one would put on, these different dances, and playing them out and having maybe those top 5 different songs of internal thought processes that could be absolutely wonderful, or sort of like my singing. I'm a terrible singer. Just sound like a wailing cat, which is not a good thing. So got to have a little bit of lightness of spirit here. So anyway, so I just invite you to think about maybe first thing in the morning or later in the night, or I don't know, when you hit the wall and you just feel like, oh gosh, I'm really wiped out here. That means your unevolved ego is surrendering. Your higher self is stepping forth, and you can review and look at and write down, what are my internal thought processes that I have constructed that really they actually aren't true. It's just been a coping mechanism. And so now, as we move into this second phase, this next 30 days, the download that I got from Spirit this morning, from my higher self, from my intuition, and you see for you as what comes up here, because I know you've got your wisdom, you've got your inner knowing, that power within yourself that is so awesome. So the focus is the void and being. So this idea of going into the void, and the void is being. And I like this idea of being is being open, because when you're open, you can relax into presence. And then from that presence, you can look to your past to shape your future. And I don't know exactly how this is going to unfold, but what I was understanding was, I feel like there's this fusion of science and psychology, metaphysics, human nature, and the human condition, and that we just get to piece it all together. The movie Gravity comes to mind with Sandra Bullock. I remember where I watched that on the plane. I should not have watched that film on the plane, because I freaked myself out. And because there she is out in space all on her own. And I think I got really triggered by that, because I'd had a dream many years ago where I was out in space all on my own. And it was as if I could hear the entire human race, billions of people simultaneously. I could hear them, I could see them, I could feel what they were feeling, and sense all their thoughts. And I felt immensely lonely, even though I could see, hear, feel, and know them and know everything. It was such a polarizing feeling. And I don't know if you've ever had a feeling like that in some way. I wonder if, as a soul, all of us have that feeling at some point in some way. It's as if it's the two absolute opposites, yet complements of the spectrum of life, of death, of expansion, contraction, of just infinite, endless continuum, and crash, bang, done, boom, gone, here and gone, like a flash. Like when my son watched that, it was the end of that season of Fortnite. Well, if you know Fortnite, but there was this part where I was on the phone with a client of mine at the time. I was doing an intuition session, and my son comes in crying. This was a few years ago. He comes in crying. He's like, Mom. She's like, oh my gosh. So I had to go be with him. And so in Fortnite, the whole like the grid, the whole thing. I can't remember what you call it now for everything, for what it looks like where they go and play. The whole map, that was it, the map. The map had disappeared and it had like been swallowed up by the universe. And then it was just like this tiny little like white dot circling and circling. And he was traumatized by it. He thought, that's it, it's gone, it's never coming back. Then they came back with a whole new season, a new map, and everything was fine. But there was a number of hours where there was no map because they were rebuilding the whole thing. Well, they'd already built it, but they had to upload it all and activate it. And so that just comes up for me as a memory now, because I think sometimes in life, it's like suddenly something is gone. Our life, your life, my life, as you've known it, I've known it, it just changes in a flash. Boom, it's gone. Or someone's gone from our lives. Or just something that was there that we loved. Or even if we didn't love it, but it was familiar. And then we no longer have access to that. And it can be such an unsettling feeling. And so this is part of the void. And being able to build an understanding and healthy relationship with the void. I think that what Spirit is trying to teach here is that there is an opportunity for immense evolution and connection and a sense of love and personal fulfillment. And through your personal fulfillment and my personal fulfillment, we get to go and experience absolutely miraculous, wonderful, magical things. So I look forward to expanding upon the void, us journeying through the looking glass into the void together to new, exciting things. I'm Joanna Garzilli. Thank you so much for reflecting with me, being patient with me. I'm sending you lots of love, and I look forward to us connecting next time.